This is gonna be funny. All right, so just to show you guys, we do read all of these comments that you leave down there and any requests that you have. And today we're going to answer a request by
Richard Haynes.
Richard Haynes, and he asked us what?
He asked us how I apply flight modes.
Yes.
On my planes.
Yes,
so,
and for both freestyle and for just the IMAC competition.
I'm not sure which. I believe it was an IMAC competition he was referring to, but we'll talk about both.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about. So, anyways, let's talk about some flight modes. So, it's my belief, after flying IMAC for years and watching the progression of computer radios, that we have these radios to make our lives easier.
Yeah.
I remember the days when the Vanguard 6 channels came out and actually had dual rates, and you had one switch for elevator and one switch for aileron and rudder. You couldn't do anything with; you just had all rates all the time. So I like to put my flight modes on one stick. I will quantify that with nothing I say here is set in stone.
One stick or one switch?
One switch.
One switch. That's right.
Nothing is set in stone. This is a personal preference thing.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you how I do it, and I can explain why I do it.
Yeah.
I like a single switch. I always use the switch here. I program all my airplanes the same. This is my flight mode switch. This is my throttle kill, or my ignition kill. This is my high-low idle and my downline trim. We can talk about that in another video for IMAC setup. Yeah. But this is my flight mode switch. It's a 3-position switch. I have three modes. When we're talking about IMAC, I set my plane up to where all the way back is my normal flying. I fly 95% of my flight in this mode. Actually, sorry, take that back. Probably 88% of my flying in this mode, and I'll explain why that is. This mode, I set the plane up to where when I fly a snap roll the way I fly a snap roll, the plane snaps how I like. I also set my expo to make it point roll and do my normal rolls the way I like to feel it. And I set my elevator expo to where when I'm pulling my radiuses, it's how I like it. So that way I can fly almost all my maneuvers in this mode, whether there's a snap roll or not. I've known a lot of people that fly IMAC that flip a switch every time they fly a snap, and as you move up through the ranks, you're flipping that switch more and more and more, and you're creating more work for yourself when you're flying the sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is my general flying snap mode rate, or condition if you fly Futaba. My middle position is my roller position. In this position, I cut the aileron down to just enough to where at about 3/4 stick, it rolls at the speed I want it to roll, so I can make a nice rolling circle. The reason I turn it down so much is when I'm giving my elevator commands, I might accidentally change how much aileron I'm giving.
And do you add more expo on that one too?
I don't.
Just do you keep the same?
I keep the expo about the same, but the reason is as I change a little bit, if my ailerons are super sensitive and I move a little bit, you're going to see that change in roll rate. So I'm trying to minimize that. I give it a little more rudder because in a rolling circle, I find rudder, you want to be giving more rudder inputs. Elevator tends to turn faster because it uses the wings to help change the direction, and I give it a little less elevator than I would in my normal position.
Okay.
And again, every plane, it's different. I'll go up, I'll fly, I'll get my first flight mode set to where I like my snaps, I like my point rolls, I like how it feels in general for my general flying. Then I'll go to my roller mode and I'll go fly some rollers. And I'll start with a surface like aileron. Okay, it's rolling too fast, bring it down, turn my aileron down, go back up until I get the aileron feeling how I like.
Yeah.
Then get the elevator to where I like it, and then adjust the rudder to make it to where I can fly a nice looking rolling circle. The final mode is all the way towards me, and this is where that other 2%, so the roller is 1 of 10 maneuvers, so 90% is here, 10% is in the roller mode, 2% is in all the way towards me, and that's the top of a hammerhead. Or sometimes, depending, if I'm flying a spin and I happen to be flying the sequence in a direction to where it's a downwind spin, I'll go to full rates for my spin entry.
Yeah.
This rate has all control of everything, has full deflection on everything. So the reason I go to this in my hammerhead is when I get to that stall in the stall turn, I need to have control of everything in case the plane starts going some way.
Yeah.
I also use this for landing. Other than that, this mode's never on. So
that's what editing's for.
So that's the 3 modes. We've got our normal flying snap rolls, roller, and then all of everything. This would be where I'd fly my 3D. So like when I'm flying the laser, I do have the 105 laser set up to where I can fly IMAC if I want, and that's exactly how it is. Low rate, that snap rolls well, roller rate, and this is where I do all the 3D stuff when we're doing the Harriers and whatnot. If it were just an all-out sport plane, like if I had a Cub or something, I would do it a little different. I would go low rate, mid rate, high rate, but that's fairly rare for me. I mostly fly giant scale, and this is usually how I have it set up.
I see. When I was doing all the reviews of different plane stuff, I would always have them set up like you said on 3 different switches. Yeah. Only because I want to try to tune them in each in one individual. Then once I had it, I'd just throw it all on one switch just the same way.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah, it's just taking the load off of the pilot and putting it on this. So
well, and that's the whole idea. It's like putting mixes. You know, I've heard guys say, "Oh, I never put knife edge mix in my plane because I should be able to fly it. You know, I should be a pilot enough to fly." Well, yeah, I can fly my plane with no mixes at all and fly a straight knife edge. But you know what? Why? Yeah. And especially if I'm flying IMAC, why do I need to be thinking about that? I need to be thinking about flying the figures that I'm supposed to be flying and making them look like they should look.
They should look, yeah.
Not,
the plane.
Oh, when I roll like this and I give this rudder, the plane's going to go down and I need to pull some elevator. It's just too much.
Yeah, you want the plane just to fly straight and do what you tell it to do, and then until the next maneuver. And
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, definitely use. This is a tool.
Oh yeah.
You know, the computer and the programming that they put in these radios is a tool that makes our life easier and makes it more.
I think that's sort of the thing with a lot of stuff like this is that you and I who've lived through these older radios and we get this stuff, it's like, oh, this is so fantastic. You know, we're taking advantage of this. Yeah. And then people who come up with it go, well, you know, I'm not a pilot because we used to fly that way all the time. We know how it is, you know, and we say, no, we don't want to do it. Yeah. It's like, you know, I hear kids now say, well, LPs, you know, we've got to have LP records with the scratches, it sounds authentic. Yeah. Well, we got digital music. We were so happy to have that clear sound in the music. It's like, no. So the same way, you know, we have a tool here that we should use, and you definitely should use it when you're setting up your flight modes and when you're setting up your plane. Take the load off yourself, make it look better, it makes you look better. Take advantage of that.
Exactly. So I just want to say thank you to Richard for posing the question.
Yes.
Keep them coming. We always are looking for what you guys want to see. So post the questions in the comments, and who knows, maybe we'll feature your question on another video.
Yeah. If we don't have the answer for it, we'll get somebody on here that will have the answer for you.
Exactly right.
So, all right.
Perfect.
Don't forget, leave a comment. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps us out. We do have some links below that you know, we get a little kickback on. It helps support the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. So please be sure to use those also. Other than that, we'll see you next time.